Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. The family secret. The sound of laughter drifted from the kitchen. Soft, familiar, wrong. I paused in the hallway, my fingers tightening around the grocery bags as my sister's voice rang out, light and teasing. Stop, Daniel. Someone might hear us. My pulse froze. Daniel, my husband's name, whispered in that tone. Half laughter, half breathless warning. The air grew heavy, pressing against my chest as I leaned toward the kitchen doorway. Through the small opening, I saw her. Rachel, my little sister, perched on the counter, her legs brushing against Daniel's hips. His hand was on her thigh. For a long, disbelieving second, I couldn't move. My mind refused to form meaning. The man who kissed me goodbye that morning, the man I'd been married to for 15 years, stood between my sister's knees, smiling in a way he hadn't smiled at me in years. The grocery bags slipped from my hands. Apples scattered across the floor, rolling toward them. Rachel jerked back. Daniel turned. The silence that followed felt endless, an echo chamber of guilt and shock. His lips parted, eyes wide, words choking before they could form. Claire. I turned and walked out before he could finish. The next few hours were a blur. My body moved mechanically, picking up the fruit, setting it on the counter, making tea I couldn't drink. My mind looped the image over and over. Rachel's hand on his shoulder, his wedding ring flashing in the light. My sister had been living with us for nearly 2 years now, after her divorce. I defended her when Daniel complained about her staying too long. I told him she needed family, that she was fragile. God, how fragile was she when she was in my husband's arms? When Daniel came into the living room that evening, I was sitting on the couch, staring at the wall. He stood a few feet away, his voice trembling. It's not what you think, he began. I laughed, a sound that didn't sound like me. Really? Because it looked exactly like what I think. He took a step closer. It's complicated, Claire. Complicated. The words sliced through me like glass. How long? He looked down, jaw tightening. How long? I screamed. Rachel appeared in the doorway, her face pale, her eyes red. Claire, please. I stood up, trembling. Don't you dare say my name like that. Tell me the truth. Both of you. Rachel's lips quivered. It started before your wedding, she whispered. The room went silent. My knees nearly gave out. Before the wedding. Before. My voice cracked. You mean while we were engaged? Daniel looked at me, tears in his eyes. It was a mistake. It ended. And then it just happened again years later. I pressed a hand to my mouth. Years later? You mean this never stopped? Rachel sobbed. I didn't mean for it to happen again, Claire. I swear I tried to stop. But he. Don't you dare blame him, I spat. You were my sister. You knew what he meant to me. Daniel stepped forward, his tone low, pleading. It wasn't like that. I loved you both. Loved, I repeated, stunned. You loved both. He reached for me, but I backed away. I could feel my heart fracturing in slow motion. Every memory, holidays, anniversaries, family dinners, shattered into something grotesque. All the nights Rachel had stayed late helping with dishes. The times Daniel insisted I take a nap while they prepared dinner together. The inside jokes they shared. I thought it was sibling warmth. Family closeness. It had been deceit. Layered, deliberate, years in the making. That night I didn't sleep. I sat in the dark, replaying 15 years of my life through a cracked lens. Every smile between them now glowed with hidden meaning. Every vacation photo felt staged, posed over rotting truth. By morning, I was hollow. Rachel knocked on my door, eyes swollen, her voice trembling. Please let me explain. I stared at her. The woman who'd shared my childhood, who'd held my hand when our mother died, who'd called me her best friend. Explain what? I said flatly. That you betrayed me for over a decade? That you slept with the man I married? Tears slid down her cheeks. It wasn't planned. It was never supposed to happen again. He said he was unhappy. I just wanted him to feel loved. I let out a bitter laugh. You wanted my husband to feel loved. What about me, Rachel? Did you ever think about what I felt? She covered her face. I hate myself every day for it. Not enough to stop, I said coldly. Daniel appeared behind her. Claire, please, we can fix this. Fix this, I said, my voice breaking. You destroyed 2 families, Daniel. Mine and hers. There's nothing left to fix. He stepped closer. I made a terrible mistake. But I love you. I'll do anything, therapy, counseling. Please, tell me, I said, shaking. Did you ever plan to stop? Or were you just waiting for me to find out? He went silent. That silence told me everything. 2 weeks passed before I asked them both to leave. Rachel packed her bags without a word. Daniel tried to argue, but I couldn't even look at him. When the door finally closed behind them, the house felt enormous. Quiet. Dead. For days, I drifted between rooms like a ghost, surrounded by echoes of a life that had never really existed. My phone buzzed constantly with messages from Rachel and Daniel, full of apologies and pleas for forgiveness. I didn't reply, but one evening, while sorting old photos, I found something that made me stop cold. A picture from our honeymoon. Daniel had taken it of me smiling on the beach, Rachel standing beside me holding the camera bag. She joined us for part of that trip, I remembered now. Daniel had said she needed a change of scenery after a breakup. I hadn't thought twice. My hand shook as I turned the photo over. On the back, written in Daniel's handwriting, were the words, "Our first summer together. You both made it perfect. Both." My stomach turned. That wasn't a mistake. That was a confession disguised as sentiment. I realized then that the affair hadn't been an accident. It had been a thread woven through my entire marriage. Rachel hadn't just betrayed me. She'd been part of our story from the very beginning. I burned the photo, watched it curl and blacken, the flames swallowing the past. Months later, Rachel called again. I almost didn't answer. Her voice was soft, trembling. "Claire, I'm pregnant." My blood went cold. "Is it Daniel's?" Silence. Then a choked sob. That was my answer. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just stared out the window at the night sky, feeling something inside me die quietly, completely. For the first time, I understood the full weight of betrayal, not just as an act, but as a legacy. A family secret that would never really fade. And I swore, as the tears finally came, that neither of them would ever have another piece of me again.